Right, Kalinga seem to be nobody is there today, right? Kalinga, you are there. Can you hear?
Yes, I can see. Hear.
Right, but then less people. Only you are there, I think. So there are one or two guys. Why the other people? They thought they don't. We don't have a lecture, so right. I don't mind. So they maybe watch the recorded version. I'll just go through quickly and we'll see the questions. Right. Then I'm moving to the client's confidence, right? So we have some small areas to cover. Let me explain on that, right? Explain the specific importance of the customer trust on banks and when compared to other business organization, right? Okay, so we are discuss about the customer confidence. What is public confidence? And Kavinda, I just want to check what is the subject you are having before me? Uh, Commercial banking.
Not sure, sir. I'm not
You are not
participating.
doing. Right. Okay. Okay. Right. So we'll just to discuss about the confidentiality and how a bank can build certain confidentiality initiative, and then we discuss how a central bank has our regulator initiated certain confidentiality initiatives. Right, that is the area we have stopped last time, and then we are going to start today. Today will be the final session, and I'm going to discuss about the 2021 paper and explain the specific importance of the customer trust on banks when compared to other business organizations. Now, that particular question is asking why we need to have a customer trust on banks when we are compared with other business organization, right? So that means why customers the trust and public confidence importance with compared with other business organization. Another important thing is any distrust situation, is an contagious, leading to a depositor run. Now you may know about what do you mean by the depositor run. So this depositor runs we discuss at a very early stage. Depositor run mean if you feel it, the financial institution or bank going to um, solvent, then the lost the trust and confidence of the customers. They physically move into the banks and branch and ask the money. So that is what you call the depositor runs, right? And any distrust situation is contagious, leading to the depositor run and loan defaults, where the individual financial institution may have a systematic run, right? That is the eventual failure, right? So if depositors withdraw their money or the people who taken loans are defaults, that means so financial institutions going to face a risk. That risk we call systemic risk, and then it's eventually going to fail the organization, right? Uh, when you compare with other organization, there is no such instances like people going to withdraw the money, right? And people not going to default because other organization, not finance, any other organization, they want collect money from customer, they give loans to the customers. So therefore, there won't be a issues won't arise. Sometimes the customers may not like that particular organization, right, due to certain reason, but carrying out with a good marketing program, again you can build new customers, right? You can build new customers. So not like financial organization. The financial organization, once the customers lost the trust and confidence, it is very difficult to regain the customers. But in other organization, that customers may be moving to the other organizations, right, due to certain reasons, you can bring them back to your organization by carry down attractive marketing programs, right? So that is why the specific importance of the customer trust on banks when compared to other business organizations. I think you understood what I told, because once the loss of a trust of a customer, it is very difficult to regain. But other organization, and it is, if you carried out a good marketing campaign, there may be a possibility of regaining your lost customers, right? So therefore, customer trust and confidence play an important role in the banking sector or the financial sector, right? Then the next one, explain the nature of trust the depositors have with banks, and how should institution act to protect this trust. Right now we are discussing different set of segments with regard to the trust and confidentiality, confidence about your bank. Now, what is here? The depositors have in bank trust. What the depositor is expecting from a bank? Now, the depositor is expecting from a bank uh, to withdraw their money with the interest at any time they demand from the institution. Right now, everybody, the trust is building up. Suppose you are a depositor of money in a particular bank. If you go to the bank without having any issue, without any problem, they give you a capital plus interest, and that's a customer is believing, and what is the customer is expecting from a bank, right? Okay, so how can you develop trustworthiness customers to the banks, or develop trust and confidence by the camps? One is you may have a close relationship, right? So sometimes some banks appoint relationship accounts managers and relationship executives, relationship officers like that. Customer relationship officers are appointed by the bank to deal with sometimes the good customers who are having a more deposit, having more businesses with your bank. The bank may have a specific customers relationship managers I appoint. What is their job? To keep a rapport with the customers and try to build up the relationship. That's the one reason. How can you bank develop the trust of the depositor? Another important thing is maintain a sound liquidity, right? Why? Because if the bank maintain a good liquidity, as and when customers requesting the money, so you are in a position to pay back their customers deposits money, right? So in order to do that, what banks need to do? Banks need to have a better sound liquidity positions, right? Third one, quality lending out of deposit funds, right? Now, why bank pay an import issues face and some issues? Because if the bank give loans, with whose money? Bank give loans from our depositors' money, right? If the bank gives some loans to good customers or prime customers, they will pay back their installments regular time, all with interest and everything. Then bank won't face of meeting customer obligations of if they request the money. Suppose if bank give loans for subprime customers, what happened? They may not in a position to obtain the loan installment at interest at regular times. So therefore, banks face a problem, right? If you have a provide him a quality lending, so that ensure the money is continuously flowing to the bank, and that will be uh, creating a good liquidity positions, and that in the customer's request, bank in a position to give. That's another one. Another important thing is if a bank carried out a good governance as well as good risk management structure. What is good governance mean? Governance mean but the manner in which a particular organization is operate and control with the satisfactions of all the stakeholders. That is how good governance means, right? If your management will organize their activities, controlling their businesses, acceptable manner, so that means so smooth functioning is taking place. Next one is risk management. Now, bank must need to follow or have a good relationship management system in the bank where they can identify any any sort of a risk make bank going to face. That is proactive tool. Risk management framework is a proactive tool. So before something happen, bank may understand the risk, and bank can take some mitigative actions on that. Thereby, functioning of bank will run smoothly. So if all things are happen correctly, there won't be any problem for depositor, because bank in a position to pay back the depositor as and when they request the money. Right now, you see, in order to build up the trust and confidence about the depositors, what bank can do? These are the things bank can do. Right? Next point. Now, the next category is asking, explain the nature of trust the borrowers have in banks. Now, earlier we discussed what sort of trust and confidence the borrower look at it from the bank in order to build up their trust and confidence. Okay, first, what is the custom borrower? We look at it, the trust that can borrow more than the loans settled during the given time, and institution will help them times difficulty in repayments. Right now, what is borrower is expecting? Right, uh, if they can take loans more than what they expected, and if the customer have settled during the time, and the institution will help him times if difficulty in repayment. So suppose I am a borrower. Sometimes I need to get my money, my loan, correct time, correct way, like that. And also, I am going to expect from a bank when I am a good paymaster, right? But if I feel it, I have some problems. I am not a willful defaulter. I am a good uh, borrower. So therefore, I'm settling my dues correct time. But sometimes I may come across I have some difficulties in settlement the repayments. So therefore, those then bank customer expecting a bank may look after me during that time. Now, good example in Corona time. So we all have a problem. So therefore, customers are expecting a bank may give some concessions, right? Okay, now under such situation, how a bank try to sort it out these customers' issues, right? Now, borrower mean he are going to take the loan from customers, right? So if you come to get a loan from a customer, so it is a duty of bank to lending that particular customer without much hassles. What do you mean by an hassle? Now, now sometimes we was asked the bank customers to come uh, with lot of documents and say usually when you're granting a loan, bank need to support with some supportive documents. These documents, every time he comes to bank and bank officer is telling, I needed this document as well. Then I needed this document as well. So without telling what is the entire requirement at once, your credit officer is keep on telling him to bring different type of documents at different times. So it is a hassle, right? So what is borrower expecting from you, provided that you are attended to all the required documents, which was told by the officer in the charge in credit, and then what happened? So you need to get the loan at earliest possible, right? So that is what you expecting. So therefore, banks, how to treat them, how to build up the trust. So therefore, bank ensure that lending must be provided without much hassles to customer. Then and also the close follow up. Now, close follow up mean once you give a loan, what happen mostly, you need to look at it as bankers, whether they are using the loan for correct purposes, whether they are using loan for consumption purposes, like that, right? Through close follow up, you will reminding customers to pay their dues correct time and see whether the customers are using their loans for appropriate or particular purposes, right? Oh, right. Now, say again, if the customers are having some sort of a COVID-19 situation and their businesses, example I'm quoting, right? Their businesses are not doing well. So then what happened? Bank may support him. How bank can support him? Bank can support him sometimes through rescheduling the loan. If you find it out, if it is a genuine default case, you can support customer by delaying or rescheduling their loan, right? Okay, after in fact discuss with the customer. That is why the borrower is expecting from a bank, right? So in order to fulfill the borrower's trust, so what bank can do, I will explain. Okay. Then you look at it, the Sri Lankan worker suing abroad, right? And the person who sent the money to Sri Lanka, and what is an expecting from a bank, right? Now, what is basically what is expecting? He want to send the money, whatever he's sending to the here at local beneficiary, right? As quickly as possible, right? Now, say some of X and Y, and he said the two family members, X is the father, Y is the mother, Y is working at another country. He want to send the children's education as well as the daily essential, and he want to send the money quickly, and he's expecting the money is going down the same day to the recipient, right? That is his expectation. If you can do that part, right, and to the receive receive in, I mean, customer is very happy, right? That is what banks need to do, and that is what bank try to do. As soon as possible, he will inform or to the customers. Sometimes some customers maybe call them, SMS, email, and we receive so much of money. So why don't you come and collect it? Right? So low charges, another important things customer is expecting when you send the money through the formal methods, and low charges. Right? These are the things customer expecting. Is a worker, so immigrant worker is expecting, right? Or remittance guy, or people who want to send the money to their relatives or neighbors or I mean, family members, and they're expecting the money to be sent it quickly to the recipient, as well as at a low cost. So therefore, what bank try to do, bank must develop a system called, so they may have some technological driven system to bring the money and immediately communicate to the recipients methodology. What is the methodology? Whether send the email or SMS, so and so I send the money, please come and take it, right? Or otherwise, if you take it or not, you just inform them we have received someone, right? That is what the Sri Lankan worker brought, expecting from a financial institution. Then we think, and this is a trustworthy bank. Okay, so therefore now we have discussed three type of customers, what they expected from a bank as a trusty bank. I think you are very clear on that, right? So then another area what we are going to discuss here under customer confidentiality management is basically a, uh, client relationship building and maintenance. Now, we talk about the relationship management, right? We talk about the relationship management. Okay. Now, the relationship management uh, basically, okay, right? Relationship management basically referring to the state of connections of association between two parties. Now, what are these two parties? Basically, you and your customer, right? It's a relationship. So the bank is usually is a relationship. So banks need a we call fiduciary relationships. What do you mean by a fiduciary relationship? Mean අර විශ්වාසය මත ගොඩනැගුණු සම්බන්ධතාවයක් විශේෂයෙන් when you're dealing with bank, right? Remember, it is an uh, relationship built based on trust and confidence, right? Okay, so there are various theories of relationship you can understand, and today we are talking about customer relationship management, right? So if you have a better customer relationship and mind you, and he will never leave from you, right? So how to build this relationship, right? So there are theories what you call the relationship management theories, where you may use a lot of technical or IT to build up customer a relationship, right? Okay, so customer relationship, and we when we discuss about the marketing, you may recall we want to convert the transactions to relationship. Now, transaction mean you buy you sell a product and you forget about. But bank is not like that. Bank need your customers to come and continuously do the business with you, right? So therefore, that is why we want to do in the marketing core concept we discuss. We want to convert the transaction to relationship, right? Okay, so that will facilitate because of the development of information communication technology. Right. So, what is the main objective of the relationship management? Therefore, and to improve your customer satisfaction level and try to give you more than what the customer wants and make it them delighted. Right. That's what you banks is expecting. Right. So we will look at it some things here before we discuss the nature of the bank relationship. Let me explain the relationship strategies. It is in your handout, right? Okay. Now this sometimes we call ladder of loyalty, and some people will talk about relationship stages or relationship ladder, whatever, right? Okay. Now this relationship ladder. Now how can you convert your prospect customer to a partner? Right. Initially, what do you mean by a prospect customer? Prospect customer mean has to do the business with you firm, but he may not have any business with you, but he may be going to be your potential customer. He has not done any business with you, but he may going to be your potential customer. Going to be a potential customer. Some people are the vendor husband, vendor wife, like that. Yeah, okay. Prospect, they may be going to be a potential customer. Now, in order to tell that, you may use lot of traditional marketing tool like advertising, personal selling, right? You do so many activities to attract your customers to bring to your organization, right? It's called prospect. Now, prospect you may heard about when you're going to offer a shares, right? Some companies are issuing prospects. Now, prospects will tell you about your organizations, right? About your organization board of directors, your last few years profit and loss, your progress. That will show. Uh, this is the prospect, right? Okay. Then please apply. It's like putting a, if I put it in another way, now putting an advertisement in the newspaper under marriage proposal, right? You say what is prospect. Uh, so the daughter is having 23 years, beautiful, dowry is so much, working in a bank, give the dowry of so much, blah, 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 blah. So that is a prospect, right? So anybody you can marry her or marry him. That's a prospect, right? The moment you take done some businesses with your firm, then you become your customer or buyer, right? Okay, so the prospects become a buyer as they open an account, right? So opening an account, remember we discussed very earlier, going to be a customer about your bank. Okay, now you don't want to keep your customer at that point, right? Suppose that particular customer, he keep on doing business with you, right? He come and do some transaction with you, then you never call him as a customer. Then how you call him? We call him as a client, because he's our good we customer, but we won't say a customer, but we will say it's my client. The client mean basically is keep on repeatedly purchasing my goods. It repeatedly come to my bank and deposits money and things like that. Get my lot of banking services. So then my customer or my buyer becomes the clients, right? And the moment the client deal with the banks, right? And he have a sort of a supporter, and he may support your banking activities, but passively, not very aggressively. Okay, he say never say bad, but he says good. Go to that bank and good, like that. They may support you, but not actively, maybe passively, right? Okay, so now client become your supporter. He will support your endeavors, bank endeavors. So what you need to do from supporter? So you want to make them a active person, not passively support you. You want to convert him for a active person. So therefore, you want to convert supporter to advocate. අපි කියන advocate මාධ්‍ය කියන අපු වෙනින් කතා කරන්න. Right? So what advocate? Not like earlier, not like supporter. The customer is basically actively integrate with you and actively involved with your business, and always do some marketing for your organization, word of mouth communication, right? Actively recommend your organization to others. Now he is your advocate, right? Then you don't want to keep there at the advocate point. You want to convert him to the partner. You know what is partner? Now you can't live without my bank, like that. That sort of a arrangement. So partner is my ongoing business person. මට ඔයා නැතුව ඉන්න බෑ වගේ තමයි. Right? So you bring the customer into that level. So that is from the moment you open an account, right, till you become my partner. And so that is relationship marketing. So what organizations try to do, right, and try to convert your customer to a partner. Of course, before that, your customers need to be attract. That also part and parcel of relationship setting, right? So that is what you call the relationship ladder. Sometimes some people are calling a loyalty ladder, right? Once the customers move on this ladder to the top, right, what happens, he's never going to leave your bank. So therefore bank switching is not there. තව බැංකුවකට යන්න තියෙන සම්භාවිතාවය හරි අඩුයි. Clear? Okay. I think now you understood what is that. Then we move into another area. Okay. Then I will come back to the relationships. How can you create value for your organization, offering good customer values? Now that is we call CBP. Somebody can say, why customers come to my bank without going to my competitors? Some can ask, why customers are coming to my bank without going to the other banks? What is the reason? Then customer can tell you, okay, you are giving, your bank is giving me the highest value, right? Okay, that is why I'm going to your bank. Then you may ask the concept called the customer value proposition. I'll come to your bank because of CBP. So what is CBP in arithmetic or mathematically? You can show CVP, customer value proposition, equal to benefits minus price. Right? Benefits mean what I'm going to get from the bank. Right? Okay. The price mean how much I'm going to pay to get that benefit. The difference is called the CVP. That is the value. Outcome is the value. Right? Price is the total cost to the customer. Benefits is the results of the customers. So if you deduct benefit from price, that is your outcome. What outcome? That is the value you are giving. Right? So therefore, we always try to have a better CVP. Right. Now let's look at it. What are the components of CVP? What are the three components of CVP? How bank add values to customers? First one is economic value. Now what is CVP? Why customers come to your bank without going to the competitor? Because your bank is giving high value to the customer. Right? Okay. In order to provide a higher value to the customer, what bank can do? How can bank add value to your CBP. You can do it in three ways, right? This is what we call component of a CBP. One is economic value. So what is economic value? Economic value mean what? The price, right? That's the thing. Now, how many of you are using interest rate as an element, as a component to attract customers? අපි කියන අරන් එන්න අපි දෙන්නම් වැඩි පොලියක්. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි දෙන්නම් අඩු පොලියක් your lending products. So you are using the economic value, right, to attract, add value to the customer. That is economic value. Economic value means the price difference, the price of your value. Example, offering high value for deposits and low value to the loan, right? Okay, that's the economic value. B is the material value. What is material value? Material value mean you are not look at the price itself. Because of you buy this product, I'll give you some additional benefits to you, additional value for you. The moment you account with my bank, I may give you a free what? I'll give you a free debit card without charging anything. I will give you online facility. I will have a banking apps for you. These are additional things in addition to your interest rate, right? So that is a material value. Third one is an emotional value. Emotional value means something you prestige on that, right? To have a better, have an account with this bank. So you recognize it. Gold customer, right? That is why sometimes the credit card companies, you may have gold, platinum, and then the silver like that, right? Why? Because it's an emotional value. Now, with a small example, I'll try to wind up this story, right? Okay, let me talk on that now. See, I think all you are in marriage stage. What is material? What is economy value? Suppose boy look at the girls, right? Very simple, don't misunderstand me. Okay, Kaling, you are married?
No,
Kaling,
sir.
huh?
No.
No, right. Now Kaling, look at the CVP, right? Okay, now Kaling, you may look at the product, say your partner, right? Okay, what you look at it as a customer, and what they look at other party, right? Now you look at the economic value of that person who is going to marry. What is the economic value? You look at it, Kalinga? What is the economic value you look at from the partner? What is the dowry I am going to get of marrying this lady? Right? That is your physical, that is your economic value, no? Right? Okay, you are okay now. That's enough. No, you may look at it, right? Dowry is not enough. I may look at it other factors. What are the other factors you look at it? Right, you may look at it. What is their parents? What is her parents doing? Right? Whether she's the only child in the family. Are there any brothers and sisters? How many brothers or sisters are there? like that you look at it, because all will associated with your first product, first benefits. But now, if you look at it, only one child, all the things after the demise of father and mother, also right, auntie, uncle, this comes to me. And then if you have a kids, no problem. There's no others to look after. They will look after your children. That's a problem today. No? And then they look at your father-in-law is a policeman. My goodness, oh politician. While you also can become a politician guy, right? Okay, so you look at, okay, this, if the your party is having uh, five sisters under you, my goodness, then you as an first person is going to marry, then you will become a lord. So therefore, you need to look after entire family. So all matters is will consider, right? That is one. Third one is an emotional value. So everything is good. You have an ample dowry, and you may have a lot of things. Girl also working in a bank, and father, mothers are only child, well rich. Still, you are going to marry? No, no. You may look at what? You look at some emotional thing. Happa, මෙයාව පාරේවත් ගෙනියන්න පුළුවන් එක්කෙනෙක්ද? You look at the emotional. What is the shape, size, beautiness, everything you look at it. No? Right. So likewise, customer, when you try to offer something to the customer, so every organization try to look at it, these three aspects. Right. That is what? The economic value, material value, and the emotional value. Right. Just if you do CRM, we will going to learn much more on that. Okay, right. Then we look at it now. With this, we are going to uh, we are going to close. So therefore, before that, I just want to give you some sort of a relationship a bank may create with your customer. I think some of these things you may learn in your law also in the law terms, but I'm just going to tell you about the client management aspect, right? Okay, there are a lot of relationships we get on with the customer. One is mortgagee relationship, right? If a bank takes security for a debt from its customer, the customer become a mortgager upon the execution of the form of charge, and the banks become the mortgage. Right now, you know that. So, any things if you take, there is a relationship we create. That is what you call mortgagee relationship. Then there's another relationship you come across, a bailor-bailee relationship. Now, where the customer has deposited some valuable items with the bank for safe custody. How you do? Now, you know, we have a locker facilities are available with the bank. So you may provide that facility to the customers at a certain fee, right? And with that, you may ask to deposit some money also, right? You give a safety locker facility, right? Then what? Then who's under that? The customer is the bailor, and the bank he become a bailee. So who keep the items with for you? So that sort of a relationship we'll call bailor-bailee relationship, right? Sometimes you may come across principal agent. Now, who is the principal? Now, the principal is customer. Now, if you issue in a check to the bank, what you are telling? You are instruct your bank. Now, if you look at the check sleeve, you will record pay. You are giving an order. You are giving an order to whom? Your agent. To pay so much of money to so and so. So therefore, you act as an principal, and bank act as an agent. When the customer draws the check on his account, he acts as a principal, and the bank becomes his agents to pay the checks. if there is some sufficient funds in check was drawn in accordingly, so you need to pay. So that what is the relationship is creating? Principal agent relationship, right? So likewise, there are a lot of relationships. Now think about this. When a customer opens a bank account and deposit money with the bank, the customer is the creditor to the account. No? Now customer become a creditor. Bank become a borrower. Bank become a debtor. Right? Bank become a debtor. Right? Suppose a customer took a loan from a bank. Now the relationship is turned. Now customer become therefore the borrower, therefore is a debtor, and bank is become a creditor. So there may be a debtor-creditor relationship and the creditor-debtor relationship. Why? Customer can behave in both ways, as a creditor, as a debtor. Right? The bank give a loan to the customer, and then customer become a debtor. Right? So this some of the relationship you can come across with the bank customer relationships, right? So that's the small note, and with this small note, and in fact, we are come to a end of the lecture series, right? So we are come for the end of our lecture series. Okay. So before I move into the question paper in 2021, right, let me ask from you if you do have any problem or if you want to clear any questions, because I'm going to stop my lectures today, right? So I may have a English, I can't remember the exact date, revision sessions. I think from November somewhere. I can't. In the night, basically. Yeah, it's 8 to 10. I think it may start. May I can't remember exact date. Maybe November. Maybe Monday or Tuesday, not this Monday, not definitely first, maybe 8th, like that. I'm going to have with you maybe 4 or 5 days. I can't remember exact dates also.
Excuse me,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. Okay, go ahead, Pooja. Yeah,
Sir,
proceed.
revision according to the revision brochure that is starting from 11th November, I think.
11 November. Okay, Pooja. I'm sorry. 11 November on 8 to 10, no?
We'll,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll check that.
Yeah, I think I told them to have it night because otherwise no time for you all, because you come after office 6 o'clock, then come to office, come home around 6:30. You may have dinner or have a fresh, something, and then 8 to 10. I think, yeah, around Puta,
Yes,
uh,
sir. 8 to
yeah,
10.
10 now, no,
That
10
is
November.
Thursday.
10th November, and then maybe may continue for how many days? 5 6 days. I can't remember. Right, maybe 5 6 days. I will during the model sessions. I will give you a model paper. And also we'll do some past papers as well. Even though I am doing today the this paper, as we will see whether we can continue and finish off. Otherwise, I'll do part of this paper as well. So usually that is continuously carried out for 12 hours, I to my knowledge. Therefore, 6 days, right?
Yes,
From
sir. 6 days.
6 days, no?
So
8 to 10.
starting from 10th, I'm really sorry that not 11, starting from 10th
Yeah,
November.
yeah. I saw some students send me a chat. Yeah, 6 days. So 2 hours per day. So 10, 11, 12, or Saturday without a Saturday, Sunday. and weekdays, right? All are weekdays. 8 to 10, I think I thought is a appropriate time. You may be tired, but then what to do? Otherwise, we don't have a daytime, right? The weekend period, I have fully occupied with weekends. Therefore, I'm not in a position to carry on weekend. So we may have 2 hours per day. I think we can do a lot of question and answers, right? I will also prepare a model question paper. It's not a normal model paper, it's a big one, right? Also, I will give you some papers I have from model papers and some past papers also we're going to discuss, right? Okay, so if you have any problems with regard to what we have learned, please call me if you want. If you have any clarification, my number is not 777, easy to remember, 864202, right? Not 777, start with 8, then 64202. You never forget, because start with 8, then minus 2, right? 864, then 202, minus 2, you want say no 2, right? If you have any issues, please call me. If I am not answer, please send me an SMS, then or WhatsApp or whatever. I will call you, and or otherwise I will answer you through the WhatsApp or whatever the mode, right? If I'm not answered. Okay, now I think I told Institute to load the question paper. I think it is available, right? It is available with you, no? Clear? Right. So now what we try to do, Puta, take this question paper and, okay, I'll, with your existing knowledge, right? I'll give you 5 minutes or so. Now, you know the question. Number 1 is compulsory, and you need to write another 4 questions, right? Now, I want to, with my last 15 years or so much of experience as a marking the exam papers, the students who obtain about 12 marks or maybe even 10 marks for first question, right? And definitely you pass the exam. And students may score around 16, 18 marks to the first question and definitely end up with credit and distinction. So make it your first question, 5 question is right? Now, you know, you all have done, I suppose, the A level. Now you can understand how difficult and how difficult in passing the A levels also. And one of the good exam in the world, A level. Even I go and sit the A level exam now, I am not sure whether I passed the exam. Right? So tough. So if you do follow the, I mean, if you done the A level, make a kajjak nimi, right? Because if you really look at it, A level answers are almost same. You don't know which one to select. Slight small differences between answers. Right? But if you look at it, bank answers, my goodness, easily you have a 50-50. ඔය තින්නේ නේද ඔය එක ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම්ස් වල තින්නේ 50-50 කියලා. ඒ වගේ තමයි බැංකු. Only two answers are almost complicated to you. Always have some choice. Immediately 2 answers you can just eradicate it. Right? You always have a problem with the 2 answers. But A level, for all are equal. Very difficult to select which one is exact. But banking, not so bad. Right? That's the first 5. The next 5 questions is what? The next 5 question is basically write a small answer. right? සමහර වෙලාවට ඉතින් මම දන්න දෙයක් තමයි කියන්නේ. දැන් පඩියෝ වෙනවනේ. මම දන්නවා මේ ගැන ඇටි හැලෙන්න ලියනවා කියලා ලියනවා පිටු භාගයක්. එහෙම අයත් ඉන්නවා. But how much you are going to get it? Only 2 marks. කොච්චර ලිව්වත් වැඩක් නැහැ ලකුණු දෙකයි. Right? So therefore don't write too much. You are losing unnecessary time. Now, you know, in A-level, we have learned how to answer A-level paper, think about the marks given, and you divided the entire questions paper into, now this 3 hour, no, 180 minutes, and then you allocate some time for reading, and then you take, say, for an example, 180 minutes to 140, 160, for example. That is your answering time. Other 20 minutes is for reading time. So once you write the answering time, so then you divide it by that one from the what marks. Then you know how many times you allocated for 1 mark, right? So then you have an idea about how to write the answer, and always they give the marks allocated. So therefore, is, you know, in our case is 4 marks, 5 marks for part 2, section 2 questions. You are having 4 questions, so you need to answer 4. So therefore, so 5 marks there. So you know how many times you need to allocate, right? Okay, so that's a basics, very basic way of answering your exams. Okay, now I will give you, okay, I will give you some time for you, right? You just go through yourself and try to answer the first 5 questions, right? First question, under that A questions. Okay, you are ready with me? Right? With your knowledge, right? What you have gained, maybe you may not you have started the studying yet, but with your knowledge, right, what I taught you all, and try to answer these 5 questions. How many minutes you want to answer these 5 questions? Now, accordingly, so even for 2 minutes, you get a 10 minutes, right? Okay. So therefore, we try to finish it off within, okay, 10 minutes, 2 minutes, right? Okay. So now I'll give you 7 minutes for you to answer first 5 questions. Ready? Right. Start. Now is 2 send 210. Right? 210. We will discuss the answer. Okay for that? Arida. Gayatri, you okay? Gayatri, you are okay?
Okay, sir.
Right. Anushka? Anushika, no? Anushika? Clear? Right? Anushka Gyani. Achala? Achala, you are okay?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So I will come back to you 2:10. So have a time and try to answer these 5 questions. Right? Okay. So just I'll be vanished with you. I'll come back again. I have not leave. I have taken turn off my camera, and I'll put on again sharp 2:08. Thank you. 2:10. The question paper with you, and we try to answer, because this my laptop, I think, is showing 5 minutes more, right? Okay, right, doesn't matter. So right, just look at it, the questions. That's the first question. Right. Now read very carefully. Now the issue comes, I will now start studying this question paper. is not the, it is not the discuss the answer, but we may discuss other issues. Now, if you go through your past question papers, if you go through your past question and answers, immediately without look at it, with my experience, I'm again telling you, a lot of students given the answer because these similar questions came 2-3 times earlier. Similar questions came 2-3 times earlier. Right? One time I can remember the question asked, so what type of risk our customers are look at it about the bank? Right? What type of risk usually saver customers are look at it from a bank? Then most of the time what customers look at it from the bank, whether the money they have deposited, bank in a position to pay their deposit with interest as when they requested the money. That risk is what risk? Is the liquidity risk. So with that remembrance of past papers, what happened? Lot of students put liquidity risk as an answer. Whether it is the correct answer or not. Right? That is why danger of referring to the past papers. Many times they ask what customer may look at it with the bank. Of course, they have given some risk. Answer is liquid risk. Why? Bank in a position to pay the money as and then they want. Right? So bank, that is liquidity risk, no. But this question is not asked that. This question is typically asking about the saver. Normally arises from holding a cash deposits. Right? Okay. So there are two types of things you need to remember here. What we call them as real interest rate and nominal interest rate. Now you need to if I write it down in the board, can you see, Puta? Huh? Can you see? No? Okay, I will do. Like here, right? Okay, now you look at it, two things. Right? Real interest rate and nominal interest rate. Real interest rate and nominal interest rate. What is a real interest rate? What may be the real interest rate? The real interest rate, the rate you are basically actually getting. Right? The interest rate you are basically getting. Right? That is your real interest rate. Right? Nominal interest rate means the declared rate. Right? Whether you are getting 10% or 4%, so like that. In order to get the real interest rate from the nominal interest rate, what you need to subtract? The what? Inflation rate. So once you deduct the nominal interest rate, right, minus inflation rate, then you get the what? Real interest rate. Okay, so therefore, so customer look at it, the cash deposit. What rate? Now, suppose you got 5% interest rate. 5% interest rate for your normal savings. Your inflation rate is 6%. So you are losing how much? 1%. Why the difference? Right? Because your inflation is more than your interest rate. So the monetary value of your cash deposit is losing. So therefore, you look at it, the risk when your cash deposit is not the liquid risk. So what? The answer is therefore what risk? The inflation risk. Now I'm not going to ask from you, right? You put the correct answer or not, right? So I don't want to answer. You judge yourself, right? What answer you put it. Okay, don't worry, I'm not going to check with your answer, right? So now I think you understood answer for the question one. The question one answer is the inflation risk. A lot of students wrote or give an answer as a liquidity risk. That is not the liquidity risk, right? Okay, so first question answer is inflation risk. Right, now let's look at the second question. That is very straightforward and easy. Right, under Financial Transaction Reporting Act, right? And there are three important acts we discuss under customer protection to look after the anti-money laundering, business, what you call terrorism, and things like that, right? So what are the three main acts you're going to look at in the customer protection is Financial Transaction Reporting Act and Money Laundering Act and Terrorist Finance Act, right? Now this question is asking which one of the following was formed? What is the establishment formed under the Financial Transaction Reporting Act? What is the answer? Answer is Financial Ombudsman is not an act, it is an what? Sometimes the examiner may ask you, is a guarantee limited credit information bureau. It comes under separate act, right? But the more precise answer here is what? Financial Intelligence Unit. Okay, I'll ask from another question from you. What is the position in your bank, like AGM, DGM, like that? What is the position created in your bank under Financial Transaction Reporting Act? Can any volunteer tell me the answer? In your bank card requirement, huh?
Chief Compliance Officer.
Compliance Officer. Very good. So that question can, something like that can come because the compliance officer, exactly correct. The compliance officer need to be established by every bank under Financial Transaction Reporting Act, right? Now remember, when we are discussing a question, we are not just merely discussing that questions alone. I can easily give you the answer. No. So you have, I try to explain you the rationale behind the answer, and we may learn other areas pertaining to that. That is the importance of answer. Okay, right. So answer is financial intelligence unit. Then the third one, look at the third one. Right, third one. Then this is a little bit of tricky again. Now this again you may get confused. This again you may get confused if you go through the past papers. Same thing, that competency mapping came 2 times in your past paper. So what happened, the students, without look at the question number 3 properly, they just give the training needs, competency mapping. So therefore, I'm just telling you, right? You go through your past papers, you note it, right? So competency mapping is not the correct answer. The more appropriate answer for this is, that is why I tell you there is a two questions. Job description. My goodness, what is that? Nothing to do with that, no? Okay, then you may get close to questions, two close answers. One is definitely competency mapping. But here, they required specifically asking of an employee is mostly identified by using, right? So one of the objective of performance appraisal is what? There are many reasons, no, performance appraisal. What are the, we look at it that, what are the performance appraisal objectives? Okay, whether for improvements or whether you give a promotion, salary increment, identify your strengths and weaknesses, right? And also what? Identify your employee training needs. So indirectly this question is asking nothing to do with training and development. This question is purely asking about the employee. The question is asking about the employee performance evaluation. Right? So therefore, answer in these three is evaluations of the job. Then you evaluate the job, then they say what are the sort of training you require. Right. Okay, so that is what I told you. There may be a confusion sometimes. And this is, of course, a lot of students not written that one. And because it is linked to the corona, COVID-19, and there may be a possibility of asking some corona questions also. What action bank has taken? Now, this question is asked about the eligibility criteria of recent moratorium allowed by the banking sector could be identified as. Now, examiner can ask from you, sometimes not in my subject, maybe any other subject, what is moratorium? Can ask. What is understand by the term moratorium? What is moratorium? Can anybody tell me? Right? Okay, if I put it like this, what are the normal product you recall? You are giving the moratorium facility in the normal businesses, normal product, lending product. ඒක අමුතුවෙන් දෙන්න ඕනේ නෑ, right? That moratorium given, right, usually because of COVID-19. But normally also, we won't say the moratorium, right? We'll say grace period. What type of lending product? Usually you get the grace period or moratorium in the normal circumstances. Before I'll answer to this, Can anybody tell me සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මම මේ විදිහට කිව්වොත් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි බැංකුවේ ණය ගිණුමක් තියෙනවා. ඒ ණය ගිණුම අපි ණය ආපසු ගෙවනකොට ඒකත් අපි එක්තරා විදිහක මොරටෝරියම් එකක් තමයි. හැබැයි අපිට අපි මොරටෝරියම් කියලා කියන්නේ අපි ඒකට කියනවා ග්‍රේස් පීරියඩ් එක. මං අහන්නේ ඒ වගේ ග්‍රේස් පීරියඩ් එකක් දෙන්නේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මොන වගේ ලෝන් එකක් බැංකුවකින් දෙනකොටද? ඒ ලෝන් එකට කියන නම කියන like you know එක loans තියෙනවනේ, right? Can anybody tell me
housing loan,
housing
SME
loan?
loans.
Huh?
SME loans, project loans.
ඊටත් වඩා පුතා. හොඳ එකක්
Housing.
බලන්න. ඈ?
Credit cards.
ඉතින් ඔක්කොම ක්‍රෙඩිට් නේ පුතෝ.
housing,
හවුසින් වලට එහෙම දෙන්නේ නෑනේ පුතා. අපි දැන් ණය ටික ඔක්කොම ගෙවලා ඉවරවම පස්සේ ඊළඟ මාසෙ ඉඳන් පටන් ගන්න ඕනේ නේ. ගෙවන් අයින් කරගන්න නේ. නේද? සමහර වෙලාවට සෙකන්ඩ් ෆස්ට් එකකින් පස්සේ පටන් ගන්න වෙලා තියෙනවා. හොඳට හිතලා බලන්න. දැන් කෙනෙකුට ලෝන් එකක් දුන්නම අපි ග්‍රේස් පීරියඩ් එකක් දෙන්නේ අයි සාමාන්‍ය තත්ත්වයටදී. අපි හිතනවා මේ ලෝන් එක මෑන් පාවිච්චි කරලා මෑන්
Business loan. business loan,
නෑ මං කියාගන්න හොඳට. දැන් මම හිතනවා ඔයාට දැන් ඔයා තාම පොඩිනේ. අපි හිතනවා ඔයාට මම ලෝන් එකක් දීලා ඔයා තාම ඉතින් ජොබ් එකක් කරන්නේ නෑ. හැබැයි මම ඔයාට ලෝන් එකක් කොහොමද දෙනවා දෙමෝපියත් එක්ක එකතු වෙලා. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි හිතුව ඔයා පොඩි ජොබ් එකක් කරනවා. ඔයාට මම දෙනවා. ඔයා දැන් ලොකු කෝස් එකක් කරන්න ඔයාට සල්ලි ඕනේ කෝස් ෆී එක.
education loan,
Education loan. Immediately I mean, there is no way of collecting the money, no. So why we giving education loan? Okay, once you complete your degree or MBA, so you get a good job, and then you are going to pay me. එතකන් අපි දෙනවා some concession period. අපි එකට කියනවා සාමාන්‍යයෙන් grace period එකක් නේද? උගත් වෙලාවට ඔය education loan උත් එක්තරා විදිහක moratorium තමයි. නේද? හැබැයි අපි මේ moratorium specifically COVID-19 හින්දා දීලා තියෙන්නේ. එතන sometimes the examiner can ask from you what is moratorium? දැන් උගත් මිනිස්සු හිතන් ඉන්නවා moratorium කියන්නේ ණය ගෙවන්න ඕනේ නෑ වගේ නේ. Moratorium කියන්නේ you have to pay but delay. Sort of a grace period. You need to settle this. Maybe interest, maybe not interest also. Right? I don't know, it's normal terms, right? So you look at it, what is moratorium, right? Okay. In this case, of course, what is the answer? These are, of course, you need to know all these things. Boru ara potte gahanna puluwa ara guess karala gahanna puluwa ekak newe. Right? Banking sector could be identified. What loan category you give the moratorium? This is a very unfair question in that case. But during that time, I also can remember I told students to look at it, the concessions given by the central bank. There is a FAQ question, central bank frequently asked question again. Right? So what may be the answer here? Of course, and very unfair. If you don't know, you can't answer unless you put together. The answer is SME who has borrowed up to 600 million, right? Okay, that puta what to do, right? There's no option. You need to know the answer. Unless you put take මේ වගේ එකට අර ගෙස් කරලා ගහන්න බෑ, හිතන්න දෙයක්වත් නෑ. This is straightforward if you know the answer, right? Second question, the fifth question also same, right? You need to know the answer. Now, what is the fifth question? As per the Payment and Settlement System Circular 8 of 2019 of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, the individual stored value limit stored value limit applicable to e-money accounts, right? With enhanced KYC is now stored value. ඒ කියන්නේ තැම්පත් කරන්න පුළුවන් account එකක උපරිම ගාන කීයද කියලා අහන්න. Right? Right. මේක නම් අපි touch කළා in our lecture. I'll touch that one. Right? I show you the circular number as well. I'll touch this one. I can remember. What is the amount? Whether it's 100,000, 25,000, 50,000 or 150,000. Now, how much you going to give you for ඔන්න මේ පාර අහන ප්‍රශ්නය ඔයාලා අහන්නේ just pay උපරිම කීයද ඒ වගේ එකක් තමයි මේ right okay what is the amount here I think if you don't know that also you cannot answer. That is why sometimes you need to know a little bit of reason circulars. Now here, this is very unfair to whom? The students just doing the A-level, after A-level, not doing job at the bank, they may have a little unfair. Because this our exam is open to A-level students. Once you completed your, you are not necessarily to do the bank, to work as a bank, no, right? So therefore, sometimes these type of question may be little bit of unfair for non-bank students. But they also can fortify by what you can do. I will tell you now good guidelines to you. How can you get to know all these things? If you are not a bank worker, if you are not a bank employee, what you can do? Every time you log to central bank site, and there is a column called the directions. You get into the directions and you feel it, the important things like that, you will get it there. Right? Straight away you get it there. Now this question exactly extracted from that. Nothing else. Therefore the answer is rupees 50,000. Rupees 50,000. 4 and 5 in that case little unfair to non-banker, but what to do? So banker need to know. Right? It is 50,000. Okay. Now I'll give you some clue where you need to get this information. Right. Now this next important section, as I explained to you, it will give you some sort of a short answer. Now I am not going to ask you. You think about out of 10, how much you have earned. Right? It's up to you. Right? Usually at least you can ask, got 6-8 marks. Now this again. Now you say 6-8 marks from that, and this you get 16 marks. Then how many marks you left? Your pass mark is 45. තව 30යි. 30 ගන්න පුළුවන්නේ. That's what I say you can't fail. Right? Okay. Now this question, I'm not going to give you more time. I'll go one by one. Okay? Right. So with your current knowledge, I'll give you 2 minutes or 5 minutes. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes to answer question 6 and 7. Question 6 and 7. Try to answer. I'll give you 5 minutes. Now the time is okay, 5 minutes to right. Within 5 minutes, you try to answer as you like it, as you remember, right? We have learned all these too, but try to before we discuss the answer and try to answer if you, because this is put online. I don't know whether you are answering or make an attempt to write. It's up to you. No? You are the person you're going to pass the exam, right? But ඔයා ලිව්වත් එකයි නැතත් එකයි කියලා මට හිතන්න පුළුවන්. But no, it's not nice. When you are at the classroom, you can see. Now you are in the virtual version. I can't see unless otherwise you have a camera. I can see you are writing. That's a different story. You know, that's a university exams conducting like that. There's a camera. They want to see randomly whether you writing or others are writing. Okay, right. The moment they said immediately, so you trace whether you are writing or others writing. Okay. Try to answer first 6 and 7. 5 minutes. We are trying to answer that question, right? What is open banking framework? Now, this is very interesting one. Now, the central bank basically initiating this. What is open banking is talk about. Now, you are trying to basically getting concern from the client or the customer to a third party, right? Now the third party basically requesting, I will dictate, right, the answer, I will explain, to try to get the concern from the customer, a third party. Usually who is the third party? Third party may be Fintech company. Usually Fintech company, right? Usually you won't say Fintech, but you say third party. Usually the Fintech. The third party service provider try to get the concern from a bank customer access their financial customers' financial data held in financial institution, right? Okay, so that's a simple. Why you want to get the permission from a customer to get your personal your personal data held in a financial institution? A third party try to request from you get the financial information which are having with your financial institution in order to provide a value-added services. In order to provide the value-added services. You think that is what we call open banking, right? So if you technically saying open banking is the process of customers, opening banking is the process of customers giving consent, CONSCNT, consent to third-party service providers to access their financial data, held in financial institutions in order to obtain value-added services, right? In order to obtain value-added services. Two ways I am going to discuss this statement. Why customers giving concern to the third-party service providers? Why third-party providers obtain consent from the customer? Same question asked in the both way. Then you can to say customers are giving information, permissions to a third-party service provider about their information about the particular financial institution in order to obtain good services from the third-party providers. The third-party providers can say, we need to get the permission from customers of the data which they are having with the financial institution in order to provide them a better services, value-added services. දෙපැත්තම කියන්න පුළුවන්. දෙපැත්තම හරි. Right? That is open banking. ඒ කියන්නේ මම නැත්තම් financial institution එක දෙන්නේ නෑනේ. Unless otherwise you give the permission to declare. Otherwise, what happened? What is your breaching? Okay, then the question I'll ask from you. What is threatening the what is the law threatening this open banking? Can anybody tell me? What is threatening this open banking? Can anyone tell me what is threatening open banking framework for banks? What is threatening? You are leaving some information to the third party. So what is threatening? What law? Section 77. What? Confidentiality or secrecy law of Banking Act. Right? That's a threat. No, but you are okay. You are permitted, but there's a threat. Right? So bank to need to be ensured that banks will get the concern, proper concern from customer. Right? So therefore, that is the threat bank will going to face. So therefore, bank need to ensure that bank got the consent from the customer in a exact manner. Right? Why? Otherwise, you may expose to what? Confidentiality. Breaching of customer secrecy. Right? Right. Okay, good. Now, again, if you talk on further on this, now this usually how you get information. So it uses internet-based technology, namely open APIs, right? Program internet API කියන්නේ මට මතක නැහැ මොකක්ද කියලා wording එක abbreviation එක. Now API is to enable third parties including fintech companies to connect with banks or other financial institutions. Right? So therefore fintechs need to be linked with financial institutions to obtain this information through. It is therefore open banking is an internet-based technology. Therefore open banking is an internet-based technology. So it may also facilitate, right, to provide innovative financial service. That is the main advantage. Now, now recently, if I go further, recently there is an app developed by, not in Sri Lanka, recently app developed by UK banks, some UK fintech companies. How you call that app is, I can't remember exactly that app. We call mortgage app or something, right? Okay, so what is the how app will provide services to you, right? Both ways. Just to remind, because in UK, a lot of people are living in as an I can't remember that app name, right? But the purpose is this. Now, a lot of in UKs, and they are living in apartments on rental and things like that, right? So these third-party solution provided reminding customers to pay the installment or rent to the bank, right? Something like that. Or maybe they may arrange some payment to the bank and they have another relationship with the bank, with the customer, right? Okay, so give your reminding, okay, you have to pay your house, your rental installment to so and so, like that, right? Okay, that's a good things also, right? Okay. Then question number B, 6. What are the measures taken by banks to prevent frauds in dormant account? Now, what is dormant account? Now, first, I mean, it is not necessary to answer what is dormant account, right? So, if you can write this, ideal, but it's not necessary. They're asking the measures. Dormant account in our purposes, what is dormant account? The account is lying in your bank without having any transaction for the particular period of time. That period of time is as per the bank policy, internal policy. It can be 6 months, it can be 1 year, it can be 2 years, like that. That is because of the bank policy, right? Then abandoned property. Of course, there is no bank option. Definitely 10 years. So, depend on the bank policy, your dormant account can be categorized differently. But what are the measures usually bank take to prevent frauds in dormant account? How the fraud accounts taken place? Because dormant means if the customer is not having more transaction, right? So bank employees maybe get on with the external people, can create a dummy as a customer and come to the counter and may he withdraw the money, right? So in order to prevent that, as the dormant period, what happened? The system will facilitate to, right, block the account within a certain period. Now, that period mean what? That decided by the bank, right? So, block the account within a certain period. Now, who decide the period? Is the bank. A bank is different, B bank. Though it automatically stop. Right. Now, it may be usually you need to keep separately, but there are mandates as well. The moment you block it, the mandate need to keep it separately. Suppose if you're going to activate the dormant account, what are you going to do? Usually, we need to get a what? Written consent of the client requesting to activate this dormant account. Then you can't do, because there are usually authority need to be given by the top person. Authority level must be, it's supposed to be, the letter must be approved by usually by physically seeing the customer, right? Okay, that's there are variances, but that is the normal present, right? So generate some exceptional report when transaction take place in a dormant account, right? So you need to keep some separate report on that, right? I have personally activated this account and blah, blah, right? So these are the simple. What are the measures taken by banks to prevent frauds in dormant account, right? Then, right. Okay, we'll go for 3, that means 8, 9, 10. 8, 9, 10. Okay, I can't give you a time, no? Then otherwise what happen, time may finish. Okay, simply, I'll take what is meant by electronic fund transfer card, EFTC. Now again, lot of people confuse, right? Now what is EFTC? Now it is where the customer has the facility to transfer or maybe withdraw the fund from one bank account to the same account or from another without using the paper money changing hands. That's as simple as that, right? Okay. So what are the 3 cards you are using mainly to use as an electronic fund transfer card? Okay, now examiner asks from you, what are the name 3 electronic fund transfer card? Name 3 electronic fund transfer card your banks are or customer is operating. Electronic fund transfer cards. What are the cards available to customers to use as an EFTC? 3 main card, no? Right? 3 main card. You may use the sometimes you may card the stored card also. You can use it to some extent, right? But mainly, what? Your ATM cards, your debit cards, and your credit card. Those are the commonly used EFT cards in Sri Lanka. So usually these transactions are taking place in electronic terminal. That's what you say. So these cards are basically make use of to withdraw or transfer the funds. Right? Simple as that. What are the main popular electronic fund transfer cards? ATM, debit or credit cards. Sometimes stored card. It's limited, right? Okay. Right. Now we are moving to the last one and then come ninth one later on. What is meant by Fintech regulatory sandbox? Right? What is meant by Fintech regulatory sandbox? Now, you know, every country, non-exceptional to Sri Lanka, there is a rapid growth in what? Fintechs. That is what you call financial technology innovations. Now, Sri Lanka as well as the other countries, we are highly regulated, right? Financial sector is highly regulated. So, now we need to develop our what you call the payments. We need to develop our banking, right? Now, in the meantime, also, we need to protect our customers. We need to look at the regulatory aspects as well, right? So, in that sense, එක පැත්තකින් මේක ඕනේ හැබැයි ආරක්ෂා කරන්නත් ඕනේ. එහෙමනම් regulatory sandbox, what they are doing, they provide basically an environment that nurtures and promote the advancements of tech in fintech's activities, an environment that regulatory maintain that regulatory standards. Now you need to do all these things within a regulatory standard framework. So that is what you call the fintech regulatory sandbox, right? So we need, so IT fintechs are developing. We need to make use of those things to provide a better customer service or efficient services of the banking institutions and product things like that. But in the meantime, also we need to provide the opportunity, because of otherwise what happens, we are having a high regulatory framework. So regulatory sandbox mean we provide some sort of initiative, so some sort of a facility to the people who to establish in a regulated framework. That is what you call fintech regulatory sandbox. If you want to put the correct definition, you can write down. With the rapid growth in financial technology, innovations, financial technology innovation, that means the fintech innovation in the country, the regulator has identified the need to provide an environment that nurtures and promotes their advancement, appropriate regulatory standards. Right? So that is basically we call fintech regulatory sandbox. Right? Okay, the last one. Question number 9. What are the advantages of using job rotation? Famous question, right? You know what is job rotation. You know, job rotation is a job design techniques, is a motivational tool, like lot of things we discuss. What are the advantages of using job rotation? One thing, if you do the same job over and over again, so you may be bored. So through job rotation, one way eliminate boredom. Otherwise it become boring to do the same job. And also not only that, it facilitate, encourage the development among staff. You develop yourself, right? It's a development among staff. Right? And it's also as a control mechanism. You can make use as a control mechanism, internal control mechanism. Now it's also give you some sort of a backup plan. Right? How backup plan? So can be used as a backup plan sometimes. Right? Okay, so that's more than, only 2 things you write. We gave marks. It is a motivational tool, it's a job design technique, it's a job extension method, right? Where you will develop, you will bring the new development of new competencies. Right? Okay. So now time pass, right? It's now 3 o'clock. So I hope I have no time to do the entire one, but I think you may learn something and how to answer in the question, and we may have a session from starting from 10 and between 8 to 10 every night. So you may join. I don't know whether you need to pay or not, right? Right. Then thank you very much. And with me for the last 6 months or so, I thought I hope I have done with my best abilities to you, and I hope you may definitely pass the exam, and I wish you all the success. Okay, if you have any problem, as I told you, you can communicate to me and ask anything. I will try to help you. Okay, then we may see you again some other lecture or other course, or maybe a DBF, right? Right. Okay, and wish you all the best, and hope you may enjoy our session and you learn something from my area. Okay, thank you very much, Futa, and wish you all the best for your exam.